everyone. Welcome back to Coder Stories, and this is me, Sneha. Today in our episode, we have Aneri Desai joining us from North Carolina. Aneri is a senior project manager working for a Fortune 500 company, and she's also a career coach. So, welcome, Aneri. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Sneha, for having me. It's such an honor to be here on your show.
Thank you. So, Aneri, what's your story? We'd like to know more about you.
Sure, yeah. I moved to the United States in December 2010. So exactly 10 years ago today, I would be landing and going through the customs. So it has been an interesting story, nothing as I planned. So going back to my undergrad, I did bachelor's and master's from India in computer science. And I got an opportunity to go to UK and study and work as a student exchange program under program. So I did that in my undergrad. Then in my master's in India, I again got an opportunity to represent my university and country in US. So I came here in 2010, and I went through semester exchange, like semester abroad, and also I got opportunity to work here as an intern. So when I went back to India after all these programs, I was so fascinated by how the work culture and how friendly people are here in the US. So I finally decided, you know what, I can definitely see myself studying further in the United States. So I fought my way to here. Like I convinced my parents why they should invest in MBA for me rather than saving money for my marriage. So I decided to move here to study. I went to University of Texas at Arlington. I graduated with MBA in information systems, and that's how my career started in the United States. And the journey again has been like a roller coaster ride. When we come here as a student, we have all these big dreams. One day I'll work in Silicon Valley, and one day I'll make it a big and make my parents proud. Just like that, I had those same dreams, and it has been an interesting journey so far.
That's amazing. Thank you for sharing, Aneri, and congrats on completing 10 years of working over here in the US.
Thank you.
So you moved from India to the US, and tell us a little bit about your experience over there. You also help a lot of students who have immigrated, so you understand what they are going through. Tell us a little bit about that, and what makes you so passionate about helping people in that scenario right now.
Sure. So when I was a student, so I'm talking about back in 2009, 2010, when I was ready to come here, I didn't have computer at home. I didn't have internet for sure, no smartphone. So the source of information was really limited. You rely a lot of hearsay, what people are saying, how they did. You try to follow the same path. So unlike today, I didn't have a lot of resources to educate myself what I should do and what I shouldn't do. So I took that journey on my own, and I struggled a little bit. I learned from my mistakes. So now that all the students are coming here, getting ready to come here, it's like my way of giving back, just to help them, because I have been in their shoes and I didn't have any advice, so any guidance at that time. So I just want to be around, be there to help them out. Hey, you know what? This is how we will crack your visa interview. This is how we will write your college essay. So anywhere I can help out, I have been doing that since the pandemic. So that has been really an exciting journey. Seeing smile on their faces, and their parents calling me and say, "My daughter is the first one to go to the United States. Thank you so much for helping." So of course, everything they do, I'm just like a medium to just help them get there.
That's very nice of you, Aneri, because even I understand, right? Being a student, being an immigrant, I understand, because even I was the first person in my family to do engineering and to try to come to the US by applying for masters. So I didn't have a lot of information. My parents tried their best to help me by asking their friends and their other relatives, and it was crazy. So someone like you helping people and giving back is amazing. Thank you so much for all the time you invest in that. So,
Sure.
Aneri, yeah, so I'd like to know more about, from a corporate perspective, how you leveled up in your job, and you started in software like business analytics, and then you moved into project management. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. I would like to start with a little backstory so you all can
Sure.
know where I'm going. So I had zero experience when I decided to do MBA. I don't know what I was thinking, but I did that.
Wait, I cannot hear you. Suddenly lost your voice.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, now you're back.
Okay, so it says my internet connection is unstable. I don't know why. Let me stop me when you can't hear me. I'll say it again, okay?
Sounds good. Yeah.
Okay. So before I get into how did I level up in my career, I would like to go with a backstory. So what happened was I decided to pursue MBA without any experience. So I had this internship experience here and there. Like I worked as an intern in few companies in India. Then I worked as an intern in UK and then in US before permanently moving here. So those were like 3 months, 2 months, 6 month internship. It was not like a significant work experience that I can show as a full-time employee anywhere. So I would say I was really raw. Like I never worked full-time as an employee with all these responsibilities in industry. So when I graduated with MBA, I had hard time finding my first job because everywhere I applied, I would get this automated rejection email. You all must have seen it so many times.
Yeah.
It says, unfortunately, we decided to move forward with another candidate. And I never got an opportunity to interview. Every time I apply, I get this automated rejection. And here I am sitting here thinking, I have worked in 3 countries and still nobody wants to even interview me. So I struggled a lot figuring out where are the gaps, what can I do better so that I can at least stand out in application process. And trust me, Sneha, I was so naive to think that sometimes I applied at 2 a.m. at night and I would get automated rejection at 2:30 and I would feel like, oh my God, somebody's actually working at 2 a.m. in today. Looked at my application and said, "Oh, sorry, we are going to hire another person." So I was that naive. I did not know what applicant tracking system is. So I failed. I went back. I did a retrospective, and I learned from my mistakes throughout the way. So, long story short, after 274 rejections, finally I cracked the code for a successful job search, and then there was no looking back. So
Okay.
I found my first job. It was my dream job because I only had 10 months left before they would send me permanently to my practical training period. So I found my first job in an aerospace company. They normally don't hire international student. They have so many standards that you need to meet. I decided to apply anyways. But after getting rejection after rejection, I was just done with it. I said, I'm going to apply wherever I want and I'm going to try anything I can. So when I was applying, the application process was so long. Way I felt like giving up. Oh my God, they're not going to hire me anyways. But then another voice popped up and said, what do you have to lose? Let's go ahead and finish the application. You have spent so much time. So I went ahead and finished the application. After 8 rounds of interview, I finally got the job. Actually, it was an on-the-spot offer. So to believe that some company, they don't open doors for international student for some compliance requirement. And I made it. Like I was the youngest person in the company, probably the first international student working for them. And it was a really good journey to, learn, and I learned along the way. So that was my first job, and I was an entry level employee. After a lot of mentorship and a lot of coaching from my amazing manager, I finally took that first step of leveling up. I started flying on my own, started making decisions on my own. So that first job taught me a lot, groomed me. I grew personally, professionally. And then I started figuring out that my inclination has always been towards leading projects, managing projects. I just didn't think of it because I didn't have experience. So that job actually gave me clarity. What I want to do next. So I decided to start preparing myself for the first leadership role. but who would give us leadership role when we don't have any experience? So how I leveled up in my career was I started volunteering here and there in my own company, saying, hey, I saw on your calendar that you are out of office tomorrow. So is that okay if I become an backup project manager when you are out? So I started chiming in wherever I can as a backup. And then how I started showing everybody that, yes, I have it in me. I have that enthusiasm. All I need is a little bit push. So I started standing out in the process. I just did not settle with whatever title I had. Here and there, I started contributing. That was my first level up move, is to say out and say it out loud that, yes, I want to become a project manager. So here I am, just 1 year into my entry level role. I'm telling the world that I want to be a project manager. And surprisingly, everybody was so supportive about it. And now project managers started telling me, my plate is full right now. Even if I'm in office, would you like to go in that meeting? Have so things started escalating quickly in my favor. One day I decided that I want to do something else too. I just can't wait for other people to come and tell me, yes, you are ready to become a project manager. So I started exploring certification. And when I was exploring certification, I was told in my company, it's based on seniority. So who are the senior business analysts would get first opportunity to get company sponsored certification before my turn comes. And for some reason, Sneha, I was not prepared to just wait and let other people make decisions for me for my career. So I just decided to pay out of pocket all the certifications that I needed, rather than waiting for one day my turn will come and I will do the certification. So took time off, used my money out of pocket, and I did all the certifications that I needed to do in order to like build that authority as a project manager. Another thing worked out in my favor was our project manager was in Ireland. So we only had him for 4 hours in the US. So we did not, every day we did not have a project manager for 4 hours. We would only have him for. So that was, I saw that as a really good opportunity to make that power move. So I reached out to him and I proposed idea saying, how about every day I become your backup project manager? I become an interim project manager while you are not around, because our team needs constant leadership. 4 hour on, 4 hour off may not work for our team. So he has already seen me going in some meetings and showing that I have that in me. So he said, yeah, why not? So everybody started knowing me in the company as an interim project manager now. So now I had more and more opportunity. I created that platform for me so everybody could see the leadership skills. So that is how I leveled up from an entry level employee to the like showing everybody that I'm ready for the leadership role. So I would walk in the meetings on his behalf and I would do decisions on his behalf because I was now interim project manager. And so he left for a better opportunity and he recommended me to be a full-time project manager on his behalf. So it was not easy. I still had to go through all the formal interview process. But I felt like I had that advantage because I already proved that I could do this work. So
that's right. Yeah.
Yes. So my recommendation for people who really want to try leadership role or want to go for a senior level position is like, don't wait for others to give you that opportunity. Hey, I saw your work. You did amazing last year. Here is your promotion. Be vocal, show that you are ready, go up beyond to fill those gaps, and then be ready to just go to them and say, I want this, rather than them coming to you and say, I think you are ready. Here you go. Here is your promotion.
That's right. Thank you so much, Aneri, for sharing that tip. I think people always find it difficult to find that first leadership role, right? Because sometimes it has to happen only in the same company that you're working, because other companies are not going to hire you fresh into a leadership role. So people always find that to be a challenge. And I think this is a great tip that you've given us out of your own experience. This is great. Thank you so much, Aneri, for sharing that. So You also are a career coach and you work with people and help them level up in their career. Can you tell us a little bit about that experience and what inspired you to become a career coach?
Sure, yes. Thank you so much for asking this. I love talking about this because that's something I'm really passionate about.
Mm-hmm.
So, as I said, I had so many challenges while finding that first job as an international student, as an immigrant. Um, Whatever I learned during that process, I decided that one day I will give it back. So one day I'll help others overcome those challenges that I had to go through on my own. That mentor was always missing in my career, in my life. I didn't have anybody to lean on to, like for professional advice. So so I know how it feels to be stuck. I know how it feels to be not ready for something or wanting something but don't know how to get there. So I have been in that situation, and I know how hard it is. So that's the reason I decided to become a career coach. So now that 7 years into professional life now, I have decided that I will become a career coach. So COVID gave me another perspective, that now is the time, there is no tomorrow. I always felt like one day I'll become a career coach, but I
Mm-hmm.
took an action. And I felt like I had so much to give, but I never took an action. But when COVID happened, I had some extra time on my hand to think about launching this program that I'm working on right now. So I started my career coaching business in August. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm helping immigrant women. So it's through one-on-one coaching right now. So we work together on one-on-one basis, and I work as their mentor, their personal coach, their advisor. Anything you need an admission in college, let's make it work. If you want to level up in your career, let's make it work. If you are waiting for that first break to kickstart your professional life, let's make it work. So how it works is, we meet one-on-one basis, and we find clarity together. What is it
Mm-hmm.
trying to do? And then we build roadmap together, and every step of the way I help them to get there. So and I'm loving it. Like every single minute I spend talking about it or working with my clients, it's so fulfilling. And when I receive those messages that, oh, I got that promotion, oh, I got um, that feeling is priceless.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Thank you for sharing about that as well. I'm sure your mentees will be very happy to find a mentor like you who's practically done these things and teaching them. That's awesome. So, what are some of the tips that you'd give for people in 2021 to start working on their careers and leveling up their lives and their careers? So, I'd like to know from you, what are some things that you'd recommend?
Sure, yes. I would say, first of all, let's start with clarity. Because if we don't know what is it that we want out of 2021, we won't be able to work towards it. So
Mm-hmm.
finding clarity, decluttering our mind, because maybe we may want to do multiple things. So what is that biggest thing that we really want in 2021, and then work towards it? So it could be promotion, it could be launching your own business, anything. So I would say my first tip would be find clarity. Second tip would be obviously find a mentor or a coach. I would definitely prefer coach, because coach is more invested in you. You meet one-on-one basis every week, and it's
Mm-hmm.
structured. So I would say find mentor or coach to and talk about your whatever you found from your clarity. This is what I want to do in 2021, and then build a roadmap. Now it's okay if it doesn't go as you plan, but having that clarity and having something to start with, that would be a really good move. I would also say start speaking. If you don't speak up what you want, world is not going to come to you and give it to you. So
Mm-hmm.
start speaking up, be it in front of your manager, of course, in a respectful way. But if you don't advocate for yourself, nobody is going to give something to you for free. So I would say, once you have clarity, once you have a coach, start talking about it. This is what I would like to get out of 2021. I would like to get promoted. I would like to be a project manager, a senior business analyst, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Start socializing, so people know what you want out of 2021. And then find gaps. What are my gaps to get there? And then start filling those gaps by certification, job shadow, of course, reading articles, any resources that you find, reading.
Mm-hmm.
Start filling those gaps so that it can eventually take you to that job that you are waiting for. And then I would say your manager could be your life partner, your manager could be your biggest cheerleader. So involve them, like, how do we do this? Like, I always do this, like, it's not something that I want to do, but help me understand, how do I do this? So like,
Mm-hmm.
start socializing and start building your support system so that it can help you every step of the way to get there. So leveling up, I feel like anybody can do it, Sneha, you, me.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the mindset that yes, I deserve this, and to
Mm-hmm.
I may not have all the right skill set to get there, but I deserve it, and I know where my gaps are, and I'm going to bridge those gaps and get there.
These are amazing points, Aneri. I totally agree with you. If we just keep waiting for someone to recognize us and appreciate our effort, it's just never going to happen. We have to somehow find a way to show people what we are doing. It's not boasting or anything. It's literally just showing them exactly what we are doing and bringing it in front of them and presenting it to them. So this is very important because a lot of people have this attitude that they think they should just quietly do their work and the work will speak for itself. But most of the time it doesn't happen because people don't have that kind of time to sit and recognize you for all the work that you're doing because they're busy doing their own work. So that's not going to happen for the most part. So these are great points. Thank you so much. And I'm sure our viewers are really getting a lot out of these tips that you've mentioned.
Sure. And Sneha, I always consider us as product,
Mm-hmm.
as that it sounds, but we are products. We normally, you and me, we never buy products that we don't know. We don't spend money for the brand that we don't know. So I always feel like we need to market ourselves. We need to step up our game and start talking about our accomplishments and what
Mm-hmm.
to the table. Otherwise, nobody would know what potential do we have. So that's why I'm saying, if you're working on a project, talk about it, be excited, share it with the world. If you're working on a side hustle, talk about it, socialize it. So if you don't start talking about yourself, how would people know how amazing you are?
Yes, that's right. And I think while people are trying to level up, there may be some inner voice or something like that because you are showing yourself up there. You might think, what if that goes wrong? What if people think of me otherwise? But there's always this risk that you need to take if you want to go that next level. Otherwise, it's going to be the same place that you are at present. So yeah, these are great points, Aneri. So what are some books and podcasts and things like that that you're reading currently or listening to currently and that you'd recommend for our viewers?
Sure, yeah. So currently I'm reading a book called Power Moves. That's by Lauren McGoodwin. And
Mm-hmm.
I started reading it. She talks about how women are not taking stand for themselves, or just they're trying to be happy in their current role, but they're not thinking about leveling up because probably they're thinking it's too much to ask or it's too soon to ask. So I have been reading this book lately, and so far it has been my favorite one because it's all about leveling up, stepping up for yourself, leveling up in your career. So
Mm-hmm.
I recommend everybody to take a look at it. It's a really good one. And I'm also listening to the podcast by the same amazing woman, Lauren. Um,
Mm-hmm.
she elevates that further in her podcast, talking about day-to-day journey and how she handles her work as a CEO, and how can we build that authority in
Mm-hmm.
everything we do. So you are never just a project manager, you are never just a software developer, you are much more than that. You just need to start believing it and start acting like that. So that podcast is my favorite. Every morning I listen at least one episode. Another podcast is by Prasha Dutra. That's the Her STEM Story podcast. That's also my favorite one because she brings amazing, smart, talented, independent women from different areas. She
Mm-hmm.
them as a guest speaker, and they talk about their journey, how they leveled up in their career, what did they learn from their STEM journey. So that is also something I would like to recommend everyone to listen to.
Thank you, Aneri. I think I follow both of them on Instagram. I follow Lauren and Prasha Dutta. So these are great recommendations. And I also have the book Power Move. It's in my list to read this month. So I got it from the library and I have it. So I'm definitely looking forward to reading that. These are great recommendations. So Aneri, what's next for you? What's next for you from your professional front, from your business front? How are you planning to expand it?
Yes, so I'm very happy and very comfortable being a project manager right now, but definitely as we talked about, 2021 is all about leveling up. I'm trying for leveling up my career. So definitely the next step of a project manager is in the for next year. And then on the side hustle wise, on my career coaching, I'm about to launch. So my one-on-one coaching program is called From Dependent to Independent. That's all about building that independent mindset, making your own decisions, leveling up, making those boss moves wherever you go, and elevating your career. So the first batch is graduating next week. So
nice.
To celebrate all about their wins and successes. And the 2021, of course, the second batch is going to, so I'm going to start taking applications for the second batch for dependent to independent one-on-one coaching, and then looking into a group coaching program, especially for international students. So a group coaching program where I will empower them and coach them to get that internship that they deserve and the first that they deserve. So that's in the book for next year.
That is all sounding very exciting, and good luck to you, sending all the positive vibes your way. Thank you so much, Aneri. This was great talking to you, and I'm sure our viewers enjoyed this show. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and share and subscribe to this channel, because it really helps us grow this channel and bring amazing speakers like Aneri to our show. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you, Aneri, for being a part of this show.
Thank you for having me, Sneha. You are doing a great job making these videos and sharing it with the world.
Thank you so much, Aneri.
Okay, bye, Sneha.
Bye. Let me stop the